Let's start talking about SPACs. I'm sure you just listened in now to what Ray Dalio had to say about SPACs and saying, and I'm quoting here, it's an investment vehicle with a bubble mentality. He's warning investors about the downside risk of getting involved in SPACs. It was a phenomenal start to the year in terms of SPAC issuance, and yet things have started to die down. There's been a big drop in the price of the SPAC ETF. It's down about 30% since mid-February, mid-March, I believe. And it feels as though some of the heat is coming out of that market. Do you think it is namely on back of concerns about regulatory pressure, or is it just another sign that there are some parts of the markets right now that we're trading with a bubble mentality and some of that froth has to come out?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Jemena. I think what we've seen in SPACs is predictable anytime you have innovation in the financial markets. You can look back to high yield bonds in the 80s or internet IPOs in the 1990s, where you have this cycle you go through. You have a new product, these are an enormous amount of capital that gets raised to support those products. The market gets a little overzealous, and then there's a pullback and a correction. We saw that as we moved through the latter part of 2000 and early through 2021. The number of IPOs is increasing every month. It peaked at almost 100 in March, pulled back to 10 in April as the SEC started looking at some of the regulatory issues around them. But I think what we're going to see is what you see in the late stages of any cycle. The market, those products, whether it be high yield bonds or internet stocks, ultimately become mainstream products. And I think SPACs have benefits for companies and for investors, and are ultimately going to be here to stay. Probably never at the type of issuance levels that we saw over the last several months, however.
I mean, it's probably part of a normalization process. You can't continue at the pace of issuance that we saw in the first 3 months of the year, and there were just simply too many SPACs sloshing around looking for companies to acquire. But essentially, the paradigm that we're seeing now is something that's a little bit more normal and a little bit more healthy to reflect the real appetite that's on the ground. So just to summarize how you're thinking about the SPAC outlook from here, you do expect it to continue to remain a permanent feature of how companies look to become public?
I do expect it to become a permanent feature of the capital markets. However, what has to happen now is that all these SPACs that went public have to find a target company. There's 400 SPACs out there that are actively looking for targets, most of whom are going to be looking to transact by the end of 2022. A lot of investor capital is tied up that invested in those SPAC IPOs. Those SPACs have to de-SPAC or go through the process of finding a target and become publicly traded companies, and then recycle that capital back to the IPO and SPAC investors so they can start thinking about investing in new SPAC IPOs. So I think we have to work through this wave of de-SPACing the SPAC IPOs, and then that capital return to allow the SPACs to start their IPO progress again.
Well, it's not just a crazy start to the year for SPACs. We also had a lot of M&A deals go through, a lot happening in media. We've been talking about that a lot on the show. Pharma, healthcare space. First, let me start off by asking you how this period compares to previous periods historically, because it feels as though there's a lot of M&A activity going on. How does it compare to previous periods?
Yeah, to say there's a lot of M&A activity going on would be an understatement. We're in the type of market where the term record gets used a lot. Global M&A has been up 3 quarters in a row. December and March quarters were the most active M&A quarters in 3 years. Q4 was an all-time record M&A quarter in the United States. Q1 was an all-time record quarter in Europe. So the markets are extraordinarily busy on the M&A front.